Hello, 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 hello. Good day. Good day. Today I want to go through the 21 best lessons that I learned from 2022 that I feel like I need to, if I action these in 2023, my life will be a better thing, and the very much actionable things that maybe you can take advantage of if you feel like you could benefit. And let's get into it. 21 things. This might be a long thing, I might split it, but we'll see. Number 1, be very careful about getting into a relationship. This is of the romantic kind with a friend. Back in 2021, I got into a situation where it's not really what I wanted. But something happened with a good friend of mine of 6 or more years. And I really regretted it in 2022. And I wish I had that friendship still, but basically boiled down to this person having such mental health and substance abuse problems that I could no longer keep him in my life. And also with that, I suppose we weren't ridiculously good friends because I wasn't aware of these things. But yeah, something that I slightly regret. Then again, lessons have been learned. Not for me again, I think. Or if it happens, there must be a considerable amount of consideration before it happens. There's a number 1. It's a bit of what a way to start. Number 2, any people who've got on social media or on your phone, anything that are not contributing nicely in a positive way to your life, remove them. Unfollow people whose accounts are not bringing you joy, and just feel free. And I really worked hard on finding the courage to block people who keep sending you messages that are not contributing towards anything good. And people who are saying anything other than like good things, you need to also know that they have their struggles. People who are more successful than you will not try and bring you down. And I think that's also something that I need to really focus on and just think, you know what? Sometimes people don't deserve my time enough. And sometimes the best thing is to just remove them from that life equation. And it's a tough one, especially if it comes to long-term friendships or, say, family members, gosh. But you have to think about yourself, because if you're not happy, if you don't surround yourself with people who bring you goodness, then that's going to be reflected in your life as well. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism, feedback. That's always going to be good, and it's very, very important to recognize that everyone can work on themselves and improve themselves. But there's just been a couple of occasions where, say, somebody I used to date or this friend that I got into a relationship with is not constructive. And as hard as it is, everyone has to think about themselves and remove those things from their lives. Painful. What a painful start. This is maybe why these are lessons. Number 3, start a new sport. Try a new sport. This is something that's going to be always, always, always beneficial. It's all about trying new things. And I feel like movement is something that brings me so much joy in life. That if you can just think about any new sport, it doesn't need to be something super sweaty. It could be yoga, it could be, like climbing that I really love. I'm getting more into inline skating. I've now got a knee injury, tore a ligament there slightly in gymnastics a couple of weeks back. But I'm going to go and try some new yoga stuff actually next week. Hopefully it doesn't require using a lot of legs, because I won't be able to do that. But try out new things. I think especially adults get too stuck in their own mindsets of like, I don't know how to do that, I'm not good enough. And then they just won't start or won't try. There's going to be beginners groups in pretty much everything. I'm really looking forward to going to BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a class once I'm functioning enough that I can do it. But think about a new sport, give it a go. Hire an instructor so you're not just there not knowing what to do. Highly, highly, highly recommend. It brings so much joy and satisfaction to life. Number 4, try out new restaurants. I'm such a massive foodie. I love food so much. And I really highly value, or I like the fact that a lot of my friends come to me asking for restaurant recommendations around the area that I live in, because I've tried many of them and I just love good food. And I feel too often people are stuck in their own ways of, their old ways of just always eating in the same places, choosing the same things from the menu. Just try something new. Even if you don't like it, you still learn something. That's a lesson learned, and that means growth. It doesn't matter if it's a bad restaurant, you then know not to do that again. Or you might find something astonishing, your new favorite thing, and that'll bring you a lot of joy. Next one, number 5, book a holiday. Oh my God. Traveling and seeing the world is such a big thing on my list of priorities in life, because it is true that, as long as you've got your basics covered, as in like, having enough money for shelter and, food and stuff like that, your basic things, then investing in experiences is so much more worthwhile than investing in material possessions. New experiences create such a meaningful life that you will never regret unless something goes terribly wrong. But choose locations, even if you don't, if it's down to how much it costs or time restraints, anything like that. Even going to the next village that you never explored properly can be a holiday. It doesn't need to be a week-long holiday. Just take a few hours out of your day and just go somewhere new, just anywhere. Next village, next town. I just last week went to Carlisle I bought a subway in Newcastle, took the train that takes about an hour and a half to get to Carlisle across the country. I had a walk and then had a subway, and it was a beautiful sunny day, crisp sort of spring day, and I had such a good time, and I felt so happy coming back, having just taken that time to go somewhere that's not my usual surroundings. Highly recommended. And then book a holiday if you can. Go somewhere else, go abroad, go somewhere warm, go experience something entirely new, go somewhere really cold, go skiing, go, whatever you fancy. That was number 5. Number 6, be proactive in relationships. I can't stress this enough. It really frustrates me how I just feel like too many people take friendships for granted, and they don't give old friends or new friends, just people around them who they actually care about, they don't give them the time that they kind of would deserve. And then I feel like it's such a shame to resort to friendships when you need something, because they are a valuable source for reflection, for companionship, that if you're just thinking about a friend, thinking about a person, send them a message. Just say hi. It doesn't need to be anything substantial. Just let them know that you're thinking about them, because it means so much. And I just know this because sometimes people don't know that other people are suffering or struggling with something. Most people are, most of the time. And so just knowing that somebody else is there, thinking about them, talking from experience, it's just unbelievable sometimes to get a message, even from like an acquaintance. It's so lovely to just know that someone else there is, not just stuck in their own head and is reaching out. And many a good thing can come from that. Getting together, having a chat. Even I just recently had a chat on Zoom with my university supervisor. For back in the days when I studied psychology at uni, and just that was a lovely hour spent out of my evening. What would I have done instead? Nothing really meaningful. And that made my evening very meaningful. And just catching up is lovely. Next one. I'm going to do this actually. Let's see, there's a thing here. There we go, over 10 minutes, right. We're going to do number 7, and then after that I'm going to cut it, and then do another 7 and another 7. So it's going to be a 3-parter, I think. Oh, okay, number 7, communicate clearly and with good intent. And then I've written down, from love arises many a good thing. Karma is real. I think sometimes, say, if there is a friendship that's sort of fizzled out, that you don't really feel like investing time in anymore, that's also something worth communicating. You can just talk openly about your feelings, what you're going through, and as long as you're not being nasty, you're being kind, then I feel like it's super important to just be clear and not, say, lead anyone on. Maybe I'm slightly talking about, last year I went on a few dates, and I find it super frustrating when people are just not communicating clearly about what they want, what they're after, and that can cause a lot of friction, a lot of, problems, but, problems. And I feel like the life that we lead would be richer if we were courageous enough to communicate what's within us, and that can develop into a good conversation. And that's what relationships are all about. And yeah, I think I've written these things down late at night a few weeks ago at the start of the year, and I'm now reading back through them and not exactly sure. I should have been more precise with my own communication to my own self about what exactly I meant with this. But just that I'm going to try now for the rest of the day really keep that up at the back of my mind, to think I'm going to try and be precise with what I want, with the people around me, because it makes for a more efficient life, I think. Number 7. There we go. Oh, I'd actually added to number 6, be proactive in relationships. Contact friends, make new friends, talk to people, because you can learn a lot about yourself. I think that's actually worth mentioning, because, again, as adults, it's sometimes really difficult to make new friends, and it's a very useful thing to just get out of that comfort zone and just approach people, have a little talk, have a little chat with them, because you can discover a lot. I keep being astonished at how people who are not me lead such a completely different life and experience things in completely different ways. It's really easy to kind of think that everyone thinks the same way as you do, but it just certainly isn't the case. Even just this Sunday gone, I had a mini retreat with one of my good friends. So we were at my house doing some meditation, breath work, some yoga, or sort of stretching, stuff like that, making food together, and just spending the day without our phones. And what was I going to say? Oh, Erika. I was starting to think about the end of this video. Oh, yeah, I remember. So it was funny reflecting on we did a 15-minute silent meditation. And we both just sat still. And it's just funny how our experiences of that time together in the same space was completely different. I'd had more caffeine than I normally would beforehand, and I felt so much more alert and so much more just what's the word? Not unstable, but just fidgety. I felt less calm, whereas my friend really found this like calmness in that moment. And once you're inside your own head, it's really difficult to just get into somebody else's mindset. And it's just worth remembering. Anyway, I'll stop this here and I'll continue with lessons 8 to 14, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That would be a good one. And then I can do another 7. It's going to come up to 21 lessons from 2022. These hopefully, will be lessons that I can carry through for the rest of my life, keep reminding myself. And I hope you can take advantage of any of my reflections as well in your own life. Let me know if you do. I always love a good conversation or just hearing from other people. And yeah, hearing how other people are doing. I'll catch you next time. Have a lovely time. Bye now.